think what happened and what made this one a little different, obviously, is the aggressiveness of the suspect in this case. Most times, they're more interested in fleeing. This person was more interested in fighting and attacking. And his aggressiveness, clearly he came out firing his weapon, and Sergeant Mikla was shot. And it just changed the entire complexion of what this incident had started out to be. It started out as we're looking for a wanted person to now we have to go rescue a downed officer.
We were outside the apartment where we suspected that he was, and all of a sudden he just came out shooting, and unfortunately I was shot 3 times.
Our officers realized that the sergeant's down, training kicks in, they formulate a plan, they utilize cover and concealment and vehicles. The tough part for them was they didn't know where the suspect was in this situation. They didn't know if he was hunkered down behind a car or he was watching what they were doing.
The next thing I knew is someone who's known to me, Officer Bennett, Sean Bennett, was suddenly with me, and he just started talking to me and calming me down. I know he was checking my wounds and stuff, and because I knew I'd seen that I'd gotten shot in the thigh initially. I got shot in the right leg also. I didn't know about that till later. And I think I knew I was shot in the chest, but for some reason, maybe it was survival, I don't know. All I really felt was some pretty intense pain and just having trouble breathing.
An officer down call, I just am thinking to myself, it really hits close to home, and not that anybody else isn't as important, but when you work together day in and day out, and you hear an officer down call, you think that could be me. I could be needing the help.
So ultimately they make a plan, they go in, they safely get to the sergeant, and then they also have to make decisions. They call for an ambulance, but they know they've got to get him out of harm's way, really, and so they devise a plan to pick him up. They carry him out of there. I think initially they put him in a police vehicle to try and get him out of the area, and then they get to an ambulance where they load him into that, and they get him out of there without him being hurt or any of the other officers being hurt. The suspect flees from the location, and that's where the sheriff's deputy who's coming to help becomes involved.
Sheriff's deputies obviously work very closely with all of our law enforcement partners, in particular the Salem Police Department, and Deputy Ron Saragino, who was one of the deputies responding to the general area to see how they could help with the situation. He observed an individual on a bicycle that matched the description of the suspect. Deputy Saragino confronted this individual. The suspect pulled a weapon from his person, and Deputy Saragino took action in order to protect himself and shot at this individual and hit him and knocked him down. What's truly amazing is that immediately, once the suspect was down, we went from a situation where we're enforcing the law to where we're rescuing and helping a community member. Although this individual had injured another police officer and attempted to injure a deputy sheriff, these law enforcement officials quickly turned the situation and rendered aid to the suspect, which ultimately saved his life.
I know what helped keep me calm, and I think a big part of first aid anytime is talking to someone, keeping them calm, showing that you're calm under this pressure, because these guys had a lot to do. I mean, I'm shot and I'm down now, and basically my job's over, but they've got a lot going on. They've come into a hostile, violent situation. They don't know where the suspect is. They don't know if he's still going to shoot at them. Evacing me basically out of there. It's unbelievable how professional and how collected these guys were under this very traumatic situation.
I attend the same training our officers do, and I distinctly recall the training we've had recently regarding downed officers. And I think what happened in this case is Clearly a plan was put in place to ensure the safety of everybody involved, but it was almost second nature. They immediately went into action. They knew what they needed to do. And so I really think our training is so important, both for the Sheriff's Office and us, that our people make good decisions and they make good reactions because they've paid attention and they've worked hard in training, and training really is what makes us successful out in the field.
The dedication from the folks in my office and the people I see in the law enforcement community, they put their lives out there on the line, and they want to make this community a safe place and a better place. And it's an honor for me to be able to represent folks of that caliber. So it definitely, it's unique, I think, in the field that we work in. It's just an honor to be able to represent those folks.
It's quite an experience to know that some people came in to help you and to get you out of that situation. To have these guys come in and they've just heard shots fired. They've heard me shooting, they've heard him shooting, and they know an officer is down, getting to me and getting to me safely. And then once getting to me, knowing what to do for me, finding out, where I've been shot, where the worst wounds are, what to do for those wounds. Apply first aid and CPR under this traumatic high situation is just a testament to the great training these guys obviously have had. And for me, it's just I don't know if humbling's the right word, but it's a pretty amazing feeling to have that many people come in and to have those people come in and risk their life to help you.